Yeah, in 2014 or 2015, I read the research papers on the clinical trial data of pharmaceutical industry products that psychiatrists arrest people to forcefully consume with their faculty-shaped thinking ideology, and the statistical death rate from forced involuntary treatment laws of Definition 6 in the Fed, and the statistical death rate from forced treatments by government staffers that claim immunities. But there was also research papers written about how in some cases they found that psychiatrists were more dangerous to themselves than others, and psychiatrists had a high rate of suicide. Psychiatrists were found to be at a higher rate of dangers to themselves than others, yet the legal system of Definition 6 and the Fed puts the clients of faculties such as psychiatrists up as the head ponchos in the legal law systems. And what have we seen? So they found that psychiatrists were more dangerous to themselves than others in the legal system, as faculty clients in the legal system to push the pharmaceutical industry profits. But they found that psychiatrists were at a higher rate of dangers to themselves than others. Though psychiatrists believe, then the belief of psychiatrists is that they're not measured. Their belief system is they're not measured, and measured autonomy doesn't exist. So they believe that psychiatrists have the belief that they're not measured, but the research papers suggested that psychiatrists were at a higher rate of dangers to themselves than others, as psychiatrists, as faculty clients that had that shape thinking ideology. Though things at one stage were fiction, and now a lot of things are non-fiction. What we've seen with technology and AI and semantics, and though measurement crimes exist and measurement theft crimes exist, as we know, Raytheon was selling brain hack radars to disperse protesters, that brain hacked protesters to disperse. So obviously technology is known about and exploited, but psychiatrists' belief system is they're not measured to an apparatus of malware for monetary profits. So, yeah, context, but psychiatrists' belief systems is they're not measured. They'll force people to have their brains measured to hard drives, and psychiatrists were found to be of higher rates of dangers to themselves than others, though there's been a genocide of over 170,000 people over 5 years murdered by Definition 6, and the head ponchos, the psychiatrists, have put themselves up in immunity, yet the research papers that were written about psychiatry and laws around psychiatry found that psychiatrists were at higher rates of dangers to themselves than others. Yet the law system, they just claimed immunities. And they were put up as the head poncho of the law system, that they can just abduct and drug anyone they want at any time they want without any day in court to determine fact from fiction. It's absolute terrorism that the Fed knowingly funds the murders. There's a genocide that's been committed, and over 170,000 people have been murdered over the past 5 years, and the law system puts psychiatrists up as head ponchos in the legal system. These research papers were real. The statistics and the clinical trial data of pharmaceutical industry products found there were death rates, and the psychiatrists have knowingly committed genocide, but research papers suggested well before that, obviously pharmaceutical industries want to make money, so they flogged their products to psychiatrists, yet it's malware. Anyway, so psychiatrists' belief system is they're not measured. They're not measured. Though they'll be of the opinion, oh no, Raytheon just never created brain hack radars to disperse protesters, eh? Yeah, this is LFDRA audio, Friday, 20th of December, 2024. Obviously, the Australian Defence Force and the reconstruction team's been dispatched to Vanuatu, but there's a Chief Assembly delegate for Pacific and other islands yeah, we support helping out Vanuatuans as much as we can through the earthquake crisis and getting them back on their feet and the rescue effort. Though this is the royal regime, the royal forces of King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, they all claim they're not stable. They claim they're not stable if Australia becomes Republic of Australia. The claim by royal forces, they claim they're not stable if Australia becomes Republic of Australia. Though becoming Republic of Australia is a fair and equal, stable way from the beginning. So royal forces are claiming, the royal media apparatus, the commercial media apparatus that's favouritism to the malware of King Charles, they claim they're not stable without the royal malware and the royal forces of King Charles III. They claim they're not stable. We've got no independence while the malware, the ALP, have facilitated. There's Chief Assembly delegates on the Republic of Australia Federation Assembly page. According to it, I'm blocked doing screen recordings. I don't know why on one device. I don't know why that's happening. I haven't breached copyright because I read the terms and conditions of Google with screen recordings on Google Maps, and it was all rock and roll. It was all good. About complementary residential building design, but with 7 years wasted, we could have had over 70 million comp residentials built by now, so we're 7 years wasted. Nothing's changed. The ALP exploits. The Liberal National Party exploits. I don't want to go over this like a broken record all the time. A co-pilot reckons I should visit all the town halls. Obviously, if there was a victory in Republic of Australia and Republic of Australia LFDRA party was the ruling party, because we know which way ABC will claim this, that and everything. There'll be all the malware and spyware and malware of the apparatuses. So on some aspect of international relations, I've written foreign policy to the aspect, are we going to see the equivalency? I said this the other day before it was broadcast. Are we going to see equivalency to Hiroshima's from Russia? That would be devastating. That would be a disaster on the planet, and obviously there'd be a multi-million. It'd be millions of people that lose their lives if we saw equivalencies of Hiroshima from Russia, or because it'd just go to a Armageddon style Hiroshimas everywhere. It'd be all out disaster and fallout and all of that. Though not on that, a complementary residential is a fair and equal, stable way. Republic of Australia LFDRA party, League for a Public Democracy of Republic of Australia. That's the only political party. We're not going to reveal our members. We're not going to reveal the members of the LFDRA because obviously King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, because according to it, donations are blocked. The banking system's blocking donations to the LFDRA. Because I tried making a donation, it wouldn't work, but it does. I don't know. It wouldn't process the donation. So, though I haven't received any donations from anyone, though the media seem to have their editorial opinions, and so I know what the Americans are going through with billionaires running the government. I know what they're going through. I know what that would be like, billionaires running the government. Though, according to it, the Royal Forces claim they're not stable if we have a Republic of Australia government administration that delivers a fair and equal, stable way for every living person. So, once again, there's LFDRA.org, ROA, LFDRA.com, and LFDRA.com, and Of The Day TV24.net. They're the 4 official websites of LFDRA and Chief President Mr. Harry Stiller. Chief spelt CHEIF. Yeah, that's about it for this LFDRA audio today, though. We know the malware with the Fed, so the Fed will continue on with their malware. They'll manipulate for... We know there is actually a real civil war going on in Australia, because we know the stories about what happens in electorates if you don't vote for the members, and then there's... So, for example, in Queensland, the favouritism by the Liberal National Party will be the electorates that voted for the Liberal National Party, and then there'll be heated civil war within Definition 6 sections, and there's no fair and equal, stable way. The country's divided with Definition 6. Do Definition 6 want their own countries? Do they want DMZs? The Definition 6 want DMZs and their own currency presses, because that's the way it's going with roads. That's the way it's going. You can't freely. They claim you can, but you can't really. The Definition 6 section changes, but what changes? It doesn't matter if you're in Perth or Broome or Darwin or Alice Springs or Cairns or Rockhampton or Armidale or Inverell or Sydney or Melbourne or Hobart. What changes? Nothing changes. The Liberal National Party, Peter Dutton, would be a disaster if he was re-elected. He would be an absolute disaster. Even though we see similar ideologies on nuclear power stations, Peter Dutton, a Definition 6 cop, we saw how the Fed promotes from Definition 6 to put Peter Dutton up. We know how the Fed promotes from Definition 6. But Definition 6 aren't an aspect of federation. They got to be compliant with federal law, but I would burn all of King Charles's bank balance. Every pound that King Charles has in the bank, I'd burn it and turn the ash into grout. I'd turn the ash into grout. But there is on LFDRA.org, there is the page on name change order of how MI5 in England ordered. I'm actually of Irish descent, Polish descent, and some aspect. I've never claimed it. I've renounced it. I've never claimed it. But my ancestry history is Irish, Polish, and English. That's my ancestry. English, Polish, and Irish. That's my ancestry. But we need a fair and equal, stable way from the beginning where everyone's equal, where everything's fair, everything's stable, and it's a fair and equal, stable way. That's why there'd be a Chief Assembly delegate of a fair and equal, stable way office. And that's on ROAFA, Republic of Australia Federation Assembly page, on roalfdra.com, lfdra.org, and lfdra.com. LFDRA stands for League for Republic Democracy of Australia and League for Republic Democracy of Republic of Australia, which represents a fair and equal, stable way. The malware that's been going on with Definition 6, they'll claim, they'll put themselves up as the saviours, but like then it'll be they're not there when you need them. But the malware they facilitate, they have committed a genocide. Their belief system, Definition 6's belief system, the Fed's belief system, they're not a fair and equal, stable way for a living person. So I don't think I'm going to do any more LFDRA audios. You can all go and get fucked. Vote for ALP. Vote for fucking LMP. Vote for fucking King Charles. Where the fuck is that going to fucking get you? Is that going to get you a fair and equal, stable way? Cunt! Yeah, we know how the ALP, the LMP, the Greens, we know how they're malware. We know how they're anti-fair and equal, stable way. They don't want a Chief Assembly delegate of a fair and equal, stable way office. They don't want a Republic of Australia Federation Assembly government administration. They want malware. They want the favouritism of King Charles. They want to just swear to serve King Charles's monarchically. Though on Republic of Australia Federation Assembly, you can see the Chief Assembly delegates. See, they've blocked me being able to do any more screen recordings. I don't know why it's been blocked. Doing a screen recording and putting it on YouTube. According to it, they've blocked screen recording access on one device. Screen recording access has been blocked. So they reckon you have to reinstall the app, but you don't. It should work perfect, but they've blocked it. Though the AFP have the belief, and I've said this before in previous LFDRA audios, the AFP have got the belief that we are UK, but we are not UK. The AFP will knowingly just go out and abduct and drug. The AFP have committed genocide with Definition 6. The Australian Federal Police have committed genocide with Definition 6. They've shoved it under the carpet. As I said, they did aggregate a death statistic that they've shoved it under the carpet. They'll knowingly just go out and abduct and drug, not a day in court. And they murder over 35,000 people a year. But as I've said in previous LFDRA audios, can you just imagine the percentages of suburbs, the average percentage, whatever the household is, of suburbs of 170,000 people in a city, gone every 5 years. That's what the ALP have facilitated. That's what the LMP have facilitated. But what did I say? It's the malware just keeps going. They want favoritism. They want favoritism to King Charles, and they'll be
the royal forces of King Charles knowingly commit genocide and shove it under the carpet. They murder, they sell people as slaves, force them to pay slave tax, and then they just abduct and drug them, label them with no day in court, and claim to have an aspect of human rights, yet context. Dr. Jim Chalmers, the treasurer of the Labor Party, he's a listed terrorist. But the Labor Party, the ALP and the LNP and the ABC, they've been a listed terrorist organisation. King Charles has been a listed terrorist organisation for over 7 years now. They knowingly commit genocide and shove it under the carpet. And what have I said in previous LFDRA audio broadcasts? Who profits? Who has the monetary gains for the genocide that's committed by the Fed in Definition 6, and which pharmaceutical businesses profit? But it's terrorism. I've been over the percentages, but they're trying to manipulate the population. The percentages of the population that have freedom to vote. So I dare say there's not one living person that actually has freedom to vote for the Republic of Australia LFDRA party. I don't think there's a living person in the country that has freedom to vote for Republic of Australia LFDRA party, the way the malware is with King Charles, the media apparatus. I know all the tactics of the media apparatus, and I know every which way they go. How they'll just what they'll do. Anthony Albanese's his government exploits. The Governor Generals, they'll exploit, and the thing is, as I said this in previous, the Governor General claims to be CHIEF, CHIEF, CHIEF claims to be CHIEF commander in CHIEF. Though Chief Assembly Delegate, Chief is spelt CHEIF, Chief. That's how it's spelled, not CHIEF. So the Governor General claims she's a CHIEF in favour of the Monarchist League, but the Monarchist League is a listed terrorist organisation. As I said the other day, well, anyway, I'm not going over it. All I know is we're 7 years wasted, and 7 years have been wasted. So by now there would have been over 70 million comp residentials, and I've said this before. So, nothing at the moment. If the Fed if the media apparatuses and the measured autonomy malware, if it doesn't go for a fair and equal, stable way, there's 640,000 people living in tents. There's 640,000. Actually, it's 640,000 households living in tents. That's the statistic. 640,000 plus households living in tents. According to some websites, they're saying 30-something% have 100% ownership title documents to a residential. We've seen massacres. We've seen genocide from the frontier massacres in Australia. And it's affected people either which way. But all I know about the ABC is that it's fucking terrorism. The malware that's facilitated by governments. King Charles is a listed terrorist, and the royal family of England is a listed terrorist organisation. Nothing's going to change because they'll all be of the opinion that they don't sell people as slaves. They'll all be of the opinion they don't force people to pay slave tax and then abduct and drug them and murder 170,000 people over 5 years. So, for example, what's MI stand for? Measured injectable, measured in-store. So the psychiatrists have the belief they're not measured. To measure autonomy, psychiatrists have the belief they're not measured. So measurement crimes exist and measurement theft crimes exist. As we know, AI is at human level intelligence. AI has mapped the brain through specifications to apparatuses. AI is at human level intelligence. Brain hack neurology is real. It's spoken about in the neuroscience page. It's all the exploits to map people's brains, to keep people measured in an apparatus of malware. That's what they're doing. They're just mapping people's brains. Their context was ECG, which is ECG, not echocardiogram, but what's that? Government revenue autonomy measurement. In context. So the thing is, the AFP have knowingly funded genocide, and they're claiming we're UK, though we're not UK. EEC, but they called it. It changed. I had a link to an answer, but then it changed and said it was EEG. But yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's a listed terrorist because his robo AI apparatus claims long live all Australians and LFDRA is against community standards. So the National Party is a listed terrorist organisation as well. The National Party have been a listed terrorist organisation for over 7 years. Though I've said this before, how would Definition 6 be? How would Definition 6 state staff, or like if they were abducted and drugged, and if we said to them, no, you can't have a gun, and then if we said to them, you're mentally disordered and dangerous to yourselves, and locked them in seclusion and drugged them and said, and then measured their brains to hard drives that they're already measured to the apparatus in measured autonomy anyway. They measured their brains to a hard drive. How would they be if we then said to them, oh, you can't, if you don't take the forced injection, you'll be arrested. And we block their dopamine and force them to have strokes and neuroleptic malignant syndrome, which is instant death. Psychiatrists have the belief they're not measured. Psychiatrists believe they're not measured. So that's the belief of psychiatrists, because see, Definition 6 in the Fed, they just want laws that they can just abduct and drug, arrest and drug in their faculty ideology, whoever they want, at any time they want, without any day in court, in favouritism to the pharmaceutical industry, the apparatus of measured autonomy, and the terrorist organisation of the Monarchist League. in favour of control, install autonomy, control injectable autonomy. So measurement crimes exist, measurement theft crimes exist, synchronization of context exists, and the malware of the feds exists, the malware of definition 6 exists. Billionaires, they'll just exploit in measured autonomy of trade autonomy. What do you think a packet is in the aspect of measured autonomy profits? What's profits? What's FIT? Forced install trade, forced injectable trade. The feds will murder. They'll commit genocide to favour King Charles of their civil populations. Though my screen recording's been blocked, I can't do another screen recording on my website. They'll block it because it's too good. They don't want people seeing it. So though it's terrorism. According to it, you can't claim against the Fed. They're just in favour of themselves. They'll murder. That it's terrorism. What the Fed and Definition 6 are allowed to do to people without a day in court.
Yeah, this is League for Republic Democracy of Australia, LFDRA audio. Republic of Australia, LFDRA party. We'd probably, if we were ever the ruling party in Republic of Australia, we'd probably send Mark Zuckerberg to prison for 25 years because of his Facebook apparatus. We'd probably send him to prison, for federal prison, for 25 years because at every aspect of his business model, it was doxing. At every aspect of his spyware, malware business model with his semantics, because his robo AI reads everything. See, national security agencies had robo AIs to read and scan everything that people did on the internet, so they could just specify to their robo certain what's been said and what's going on, and it just spit out an answer for them. And that's what Facebook's. But see, Mark Zuckerberg, he went to Harvard, but he just scaled a coded website with an idea. But we'd turn Elon Musk's holdings in Australia, we'd turn his cash in the bank into Polypipe. We'd turn Elon Musk's Aussie dollar holdings into Polypipe. And we'd probably turn King Charles's bank balance into I don't know. We'd probably burn all of King Charles's bank balance and see what we could use it for. Though on the foreign policy page on LFDRA.org, you can see the foreign policy in the write-up about Elon Musk being a CIA special agent that embezzled PayPal and got up from that and got into rocket science, because Elon Musk was a CIA special agent. It's on the foreign policy page, and because the US government wanted to maintain number one, so they had their CIA special agent become an embezzlement billionaire. But I'd turn all his I'd turn all his Aussie dollar holdings in Australia or Republic of Australia into Polypipe. That'd be interesting, turning all of Elon Musk's bank balance in Australia to Polypipe. We've seen the malware at the moment the Liberal National Party in Queensland were elected, we saw the malware of their government, what happened with the way they treated the CFMEU, the way when last time they were in government they cut jobs, well, no one wants to be hassled all day, every day for Definition 6 revenue, though. We've seen how they put speed cameras at roadworks. Well, you don't be stupid, you just don't speed, but they want to make money out of it. But you know full well you've got to slow down for roadworks, and if there's people on the side of the road, though, it has to be safe to do so within the traffic conditions. If you do have to slow down, it has to be safe to do so, though. According to it, yeah, coal is I've known this for a very long time. Burnt coal is an ingredient in cement. Burnt coal is an ingredient in cement, concrete. So complementary residential, as I said, there'd be 10 million buildings built in the first decade, which gives 150 million residentials or 200 million residentials, though this ain't going to get the airtime on the media apparatuses because we know the favouritism to where the Liberal National Party is sworn to serve King Charles' realm, the Labor Party sworn to serve King Charles' realm, the Greens are sworn to serve King Charles' realm. So it's just malware. There'll be malware in favour, their favouritism to King Charles. And we've seen what they've put in constitutions. It's just malware. We want a fair and equal, stable way from the beginning. And today is Republic of Australia Fair and Equal Stable Way Day. And you can see on LFDRA.org, news and events, how the 12th and the 13th of December will be every year. We've had 7 years wasted. The malware of the Liberal National Party, the malware of the political apparatus. Neurology autonomy doesn't exist. Neurology autonomy, semantics don't exist either. So we know the malware of the Liberal National Party. The Liberal National Party have been a listed terrorist organisation for 7 years. We know the malware. We know that nothing's going to get any better in Queensland. We're just going to see favouritism to the King Charles's realm. We're just going to see favouritism to King Charles. They're only thinking about their selfish interests. They're not thinking about a living person apart from themselves. Yes, we need power production security, though burnt coal is an additive in cement. We're not going to be able to get 150 million or 200 million complementary residentials constructed without the burnt coal ingredient that goes in concrete or cement. So, yeah, that's about it for LFDRA audio today, though. This is Chief President, Mr. Harry Stiller, and this has been LFDRA audio on at Harry Stiller LFDRA. And just so you know, the guitar straps, the guitar picks and straps will be released soon. Be available for sale soon. That's about it for LFDRA audio today, though. All we know is the Liberal National Party are scum. The Labor Party are scum. The Fed has funded the murders of 35,000 people a year. The Liberal National Party have committed genocide. Peter Dutton is a listed terrorist because the Liberal National Party and the Labor Party always imply an inferior superior, and they've committed genocide and murdered over 35,000 people. It's absolute terrorism. 35,000 people murdered by the Liberal National Party every single year. 35,000 people murdered every single year by the Labor Party. 35,000 people murdered every single year by the Greens. It's absolute terrorism. The stereotype ideology that's portrayed by media faculties in their shape-thinking ideology to malware, they haven't thought about a living person for a fair and equal, stable way from the beginning. Well, we do know, and I've said this before, we do know, according to it, there's 2 videos age restricted. You have to sign in for them. But it didn't age restrict some of my other LFDRA audio stuff, though according to it, 2 LFDRA audios have been age restricted. They're saying 2 of the LFDRA audios are 18 plus, but I can't understand how that could possibly be. Though the Labor Party, the Liberal Party, the National Party, Katters Australia Party, the Greens Party, they knowingly fund the murders of 35,000 plus Australians every year. Bill Shorten knowingly funds the murders of 35,000 Australians a year, over 35,000 Australians a year. Neuroleptic malignant syndrome is instant death. So they'll just go out, arrest people. Some definition 6 forces claim someone's got psychosis every 56 or 58 seconds. You see the funding. We know that superannuation insurances aren't paying out the insurances to the abducted and drugs, the arrested and abducted and drugged and labelled slaves of the psychiatrists that want human slaves for their pay packets to fund the pharmaceutical businesses. They just want people in their snare maze of their definition 6 law circle. It's a fact. Australian Bureau of Statistics had the statistics on their website. They had the statistics on their website about death within mental health from forced treatment. And the statistic was on the Australian Bureau of Statistics that is now no longer there, that's been shoved under the carpet, was over 35,000 plus people a year were knowingly, the funding was knowingly going to definition 6 that has committed genocide and murdered over 35,000 people a year. It's a fact. That's a fact. Services Australia Medicare knowingly funds through Medicare it's pretty much just a black budget for definition 6. Definition 6 are building mental health hospitals classified as that, but people within the snare maze can face instant death from neuroleptic malignant syndrome, and there is 35,000 plus deaths from involuntary treatments in mental health. 35,000 plus murders. But at the moment, with the law system in Australia, facilitated by King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, he knowingly funds the murders of 35,000 plus Australians, Republic of Australians, every year. Though in Republic of Australia, if there was, well, it would be illegal. Involuntary mental health treatment would be illegal, but we would do back to the Liberal Party, the National Party and the Labor Party and definition 6, and those that knowingly murdered 35,000 plus Australians a year for pharmaceutical industry profits and for human slaves, just to be abducted and drugged, dead or alive slaves. See, it's terrorism that Donald Trump met with Prince William. That is terrorism that, there is a Republican Party of Reform, LFDRA party, but that's Republic of Australia, Republican Party of Reform, LFDRA party. Though it is terrorism that another aspect of the Republican Party in America, that Donald Trump, a yet to be sworn in president, met with Prince William. That is terrorism. That is terrorism that Donald Trump met a leader of the free world, that he met, well, it's not really free because you've got to pay your taxes, but our taxes are fair and equal, stable way with Liberal, Labor, National Party and the Greens. It's not, is it? It's not a fair and equal, stable way the way the high taxes are. We have a taxation policy on LFDRA.org, LFDRA.com, and ROA LFDRA.com. You can see our taxation policy, ROA Simple Taxation, ROA LFDRA. You can see we've got an 8.5% tax rate to an 11.5% tax rate, and that's it. It's two simple tax rates, 8.5% to an 11.5% variable. Though it is terrorism that Donald Trump met with Prince William being a Republican Party president, as I said. It's terrorism that Donald Trump met with Prince William. I probably would have went to the cathedral thing if I was the ruling party president, but I would have went to the cathedral thing because I saw the documentary on it being rebuilt and it was pretty cool. But Donald Trump meeting Prince William, he met the Queen too. That was terrorism. I thought him being a Republican Party president, I thought he wouldn't be like getting all, I don't know what you call it, like going around meeting the Queen and King Charles and Prince William. That's terrorism. They're a listed terrorist organisation. They commit genocide. They're malware. They're not a fair and equal, stable way for a living person. So I think the next, I think there possibly could be some live broadcasts coming up in the future because I'm authorised to go live, so there might be some live broadcasts, or I'll do a video session of LFDRA audio though. That's all of LFDRA audio today. There's been some updates on the foreign policy page, foreign policy ROA LFDRA page. So foreign policy, Republic of Australia, LFDRA, it's on LFDRA.org. It's terrorism that Donald Trump met Prince William. That is terrorism. America's got nothing to do with Republic of Australia, though. Oh yeah, when I was on Facebook was saying the context, long live all Australians, and LFDRA was against community standards. That's what Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook was saying. Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook was saying, long live all Australians, and LFDRA was against community standards. That is terrorism. Yeah, back to reality. Welcome to LFDRA audio. This is the second LFDRA audio on the 9th of 12th, 2024. We heard about what happened with the recent vandalism arson attack. Well, you can see the tense situation. And well, on the Israeli minister, it's got nothing to do about Jewish. The Israeli minister who was coming to Australia, though she was planning to come to Australia she was planning to come to Australia to make statements in Australia, and she was Israeli government that's actually wanted for genocide by the United Nations. The Benjamin Netanyahu government's wanted for genocide, though we don't condone any acts of vandalism, arson. That's not supported in Republic of Australia. Vandalism, arson. We don't condone that. We don't support that. Vandalism, arson is a crime, but we don't want to stir the violence between Israel and Islamic people, Muslims. There's a Chief Assembly delegate on the former Israeli minister that wanted to come to Australia to make statements. What would the Chief Assembly delegate of tourism and
Chief Assembly Delegate of Domestic Leisure and Tourism. Well, obviously she was coming to Australia to make statements, and obviously there'd be conditions set by Chief Assembly Delegate for Domestic Leisure and Tourism, and obviously she wouldn't have had diplomatic immunity because the Israeli government's wanted for a charge of genocide, but King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, has murdered over the past 5 years, has murdered 3, 6, 3, 6, 9, 12, 150, 160, 170. King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, has murdered over 170,000 people with mental health laws, involuntary mental health laws. There's been over 170,000 people murdered for pharmaceutical industry profits. The genocide committed by Definition 6 in the threat of King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, without any day in court to determine fact from fiction. There's been over 170,000 people murdered. So actually the Australian government in Definition 6 has committed genocide, though we don't condone acts of vandalism, arson, though we don't want to stir tensions between theologies. So we can't have a theology-led government. See, the thing is when I was referring to in a previous LFDRA audio about King Charles III realm synagogues, I did refer in that LFDRA audio about the parliaments becoming synagogues, being the aspect of government's religion in parliaments, like synagogues are a religion. Parliaments they become a cult religion with their staff that give them immunity to just commit genocide and do whatever they want. So that's what's happened in Australia. There's been over 170,000 people murdered through involuntary mental health laws over the past 5 years. 170,000 people. Put that in perspective. In a city, 170,000 people in suburbs. Gone. How many people? What's the average household in a suburb? Could you just imagine that's happening every 5 years with existing laws in the country, and not one single person has got a day in court? There's a secret rigged tribunal that claims to have advocacy for this, but before involuntary treatment, there is no day in court to determine fact from fiction. And King Charles III realm has committed a genocide of over 170,000 people every 5 years. It is absolute terrorism. Though we don't condone vandalism, arson, that's not supported in Republic of Australia. And we don't want to see tensions escalate between theologies. Though there's the Chief Assembly Delegate for Muslims, theology and not-for-profit registrations. But we don't, because the thing is with parliaments become like synagogues, and the parliaments become law becomes cult religions for government staffers, but some government staffers breach the law and they claim immunities, and they use mental health laws for inferior superior aspect of racism. It's racist. The Definition 6 laws are racist because it infers an inferior superior, and they're committing genocide and murdering over 170,000 people over the past 5 years over 170,000 people have knowingly been murdered by the Fed and Definition 6 of King Charles III realm.
You see, Definition 6 coppers, they got their $120,000 a year, $120,000 plus dollars a year. It's terrorism. I can tell you now, it's the last time. I am never working another second in my fucking life to produce somebody else's shit for Definition 6 coppers, so they get 120 grand a year. They get a 20 grand a year something pay rise, 120 something thousand dollars. And the way they'll behave, they'll murder 35,000 people. They think it's their God-given right to abduct and drug people because they want these laws so they can just abduct and drug whoever they want at any time they want. According to it, the LFDRA audio on the 3rd of November 2024 is age restricted. According to it, there's one video in the there's one video in the two podcasts there's one video that's age restricted on the LFDRA audio one. I don't know why it's age restricted. I really can't understand why it's age restricted. They see Definition 6 cops that got this, that are on 120 something thousand a year, not to mention what their super pay packet is. They get 120 something thousand dollars a year, and they'll go around and murder 35,000 plus people, and they've got immunity. They'll murder whoever they want at any time they want. They'll murder 35,000 people, and it'll be as if nothing happened. That's who and then all this ideology, they've got all this shape thinking ideology in their law circles, in their faculty favoritism law circles, because they want these laws that they can just abduct and drug whoever they want at any time they want. And there's been a genocide of over 35,000 people a year. And who's profited? Who's profited? It's fucking terrorism. According to it, one video was age restricted. I don't know why. The LFDRA audio, where's the fucking money, cunt? According to it, that one was age restricted. We'll see if this one gets age restricted. I don't know why that was age restricted. The title was LFDRA audio, where's the fucking money, cunt? I don't know if that was age restricted. Oh yeah, brain hack neurology doesn't exist, does it? So semantic decoding doesn't exist either, does it? According to it, the 120 something thousand dollar a year Definition 6 police have knowingly murdered over 35,000 people and labelled it death unknown, and they'll continue on in their genocide in favouritism of King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm. And who profits? Who profits? The pharmaceutical industries, the faculties, and how many people are murdered? Over 35,000 people a year. It's fact. It's fact. So I'm not going over it again, though. It's terrorism. Pay slave tax in this terrorist regime country. For what? Pay slave tax for what? Just to be an abducted and drugged, dead or alive slave? At a moment's notice when the measurement crimes exist, measurement theft crimes exist, measurement crimes exist, and measurement theft crimes exist, as I said that. Measurement crimes exist, measurement theft crimes exist as well. It's malware. It's terrorism. The only reason I've said this before though, the only reason the federal minimum went up in Australia was because of LFDRA policy, and they wanted to look like they were doing something, though it's terrorism they'll exploit for. See, Sam Mostyn, if she's the Governor-General of King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, Sam Mostyn
they get $700,000 something a year from the Fed to be favouritism to King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm. That's terrorism. She's paid over $700,000 a year to be this, according to one of her recent broadcasts. Ooh, she's the commander-in-chief of King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm. And she gets paid 700,000 Australian dollars a year or something to stay in favouritism to King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm monarchist league constitution. It's terrorism. She likes to eat food, though she'll exploit them, force them to pay slave tax, then abduct and drug them and murder them with abduct and drug laws and their genocide for pharmaceutical industry profits. But no, context name measured apparatus doesn't exist, does it? It's fucking terrorism. They'll go on with their malware. They'll flog all these media apparatus products to flog products to faculties and then see all the context words that they'll use to flog shape thinking ideologies and the stereotype ideology that they'll all have. And what'll happen? There'll be an even bigger genocide of more people because the faculties want to make money and the pharmaceutical industries want to make money, and there'll be more people murdered in genocide over money. See, the faculty stereotype ideologies, see, the media have this stereotype ideology, the faculties have this belief system, the media have a belief system, everyday people, that they have these stereotype belief systems. Yet they'll just make shit up about anyone, and it's terrorism. They'll claim, they'll use, well, you know, it's fucking terrorism. It is fucking terrorism because the Fed, it's fucking terrorism. How would you be if you were forced to consume a fucking stroke and you've been abducted and drugged fucking over 7 times to be forcefully injected for over 12 fucking years to just be some dead or alive exploited fucking slave for the pharmaceutical industry and the Definition 6 staff? Because their belief system, they've got to believe someone every 58 seconds has got psychosis. See, they've got shape thinking, stereotype ideology, and their belief system is they need to be arrested, secluded, drugged, labelled, put in a snare maze that they can't get out of, and pretty much injected to death, drugged to death. And there's been a genocide of 35,000 people. I've said this in previous LFDRA audio broadcasts, but the Fed of Definition 6, King Charles III's got Governor Generals of Definition 6, and they've contributed to the murders of over 35,000 people. They've signed in the governments that are going around abducting and drugging people, forcing them to consume these stereotype ideologies of faculties and all these people that have this shape thinking ideology just because, you know, they'll have a belief system, and then they'll have a stereotype belief system, and they'll be of this belief and all this shit. But see, it's fucking terrorism. The Fed knows it's committed genocide. It funds genocide. It facilitates genocide. And really, the King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm should be charged with a crime of genocide, though that's not going to happen. When it comes to Donald Trump, he said he's going to, according to media reports, I don't know if he said it himself, what he said about what he's doing in America, yeah, all well and good. It's none of my fucking business what Americans do in their own country. There is foreign interference in a lot of shit, in a lot of stuff. I've spoken about how complementary residential policy solves homelessness in America, but because it's all monetized, because the residential market's monetized in the Greens, according to the Greens policy, it only serves 40,000 people or something. But according to Definition 6, they're only going to fund frontline staff, but it's terrorism. It's absolute terrorism, just the way people are dead or alive slaves or cash barbecues of how it's worked out. They're just cash barbecues as dead or alive slaves, and it's terrorism. They haven't created a fair and equal, stable way for a living person. Bill Shorten's a listed terrorist. Anthony Albanese is a listed terrorist. Services Australia is a listed terrorist organisation because they knowingly fund Definition 6 that have facilitated the over 35,000 people a year genocide. They fund that through Definition 6 Medicare extortion. They'll just abduct and drug people to get their Medicare pay packet, and they'll just abduct and drug people, keep them in the snare maze for the pharmaceutical industry. And who profits? The faculties and the pharmaceutical industries. And how many people are murdered from abduct and drug trade of labelling someone with something and then forcing them to consume their so-called consumables. And how many people are murdered? 35,000 people a year. But they just take their quota. They'll have a quota because they got beds. They'll just fill them. So it's terrorism. Though pay slave tax in Australia of King Charles III Commonwealth of Australia realm, fucking what for? People slaving away 10-hour days to produce 10-hour days that end up being 12-hour days, 13-hour days, so you can have your fucking McDonald's burger or your Hungry Jack's burger or your sausages or your steak. And what are they left with? What are the slaughtermen left with? Pittance. A fucking pittance. And why are people working in chicken abattoirs and they're getting $44, $45 an hour? It's only because of the union, but what it's like when you're in a union and not in a union. And I've said that fucking years ago, way before that fucking One Nation senator said it in the fucking Senate. I privately said that well before he fucking said that in the Senate. I said what it's like to be in a union and not in a union well before it was fucking broadcast in the fucking Senate by the terrorist organisation of the Australian government of King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, that has knowingly committed genocide and shoved it under the carpet. The National Party of Australia is a listed terrorist organisation of Australia. Services Australia, the way they fund the facilitation of their genocide apparatus, they're a listed terrorist organisation as well. The Governor-General, Sam Mostyn, she's a listed terrorist as well. She knowingly commits genocide and shoves it under the carpet. And when it comes to war on the planet, who makes more fucking money of dead or alive slaves in the whole apparatus of measured autonomy on the planet of fucking Earth?
Yeah, we know the malware of the ALP, the Australian Labor Party, and the malware of the Liberal National Party. I haven't broadcast this in any of my other broadcasts on this channel or on LFDRA audio, though at one of the points in time where I was arrested, sedated, and taken to Coffs Harbour Mental Health Service, and I was involuntarily detained over stuff my sister Kim made up in Maryborough. I was in Maryborough visiting my sister, and we were talking about Thomas S. Monson, and I'm Mr. Harry Stiller, and I was taken to Maryborough Health Service, and I'm Mr. Harry Stiller, though after being arrested in Grafton, sprayed in the face with capsicum spray, and I'm sedated at the hospital. I don't know if it was that time being sprayed in the face with capsicum spray, but it could have been a time before that, after I just got back from Nepal. I was taken to Coffs Harbour, and I had a partial stroke in Coffs Harbour. The right side of my jaw went all saggy, and I had slurred speech from being forcefully injected. I've been trying to get compensation from the government for a long time because it was a government-induced partial stroke, and I've been trying to get compensation from the government for a long time. See, there is a death rate. The government commits a massacre every single year. There's over 35,000 people murdered from involuntary detainments facilitated by Definition 6. There's over 35,000 people murdered. There's a massacre every year of about over 35,000 people. The Australian Bureau of Statistics aggregated a death statistic, and from the clinical trial data of the medications, of the involuntary forced medications, there is an actual statistical death rate, and the death rate that was aggregated by the Australian Bureau of Statistics from involuntary deaths in mental health is about 35,000 plus a year. There's a massacre every year through police involuntarily detaining people that they have a belief they've got this ideology, that they've got such and such, they've got psychosis, or they're mentally disordered or dangerous to themselves and others, that possibly the people that have to consume that as the affected person don't have a day in court. But anyway, I had a partial stroke in Coffs Harbour where the right side of my face went all saggy and I had slurred speech. But how I spoke about, if you're not someone else's dead or alive, bought and sold slave, you're just somebody else's dead or alive, bought and sold slave. So they made more money with the anti-stroke medication and cold shower. You see, they cause death. When you block dopamine in the brain, there's so many side effects, that there's so many things, it can cause death in so many different ways. It's terrorism. Pay slave tax in this country for fucking what? Who would choose to pay slave tax to a Fed that funds the Definition 6 to just go out and abduct and drug? I don't think ABC News is going to broadcast the fact that the Fed funds the massacres of over 35,000 people a year, and the way the faculties have shaped thinking of people, of faculty clients of students that want to work as psychiatrists, and they've just got this shaped thinking ideology from the faculties and their belief systems it's just malware that the Fed commits, and the Fed has funded the massacres of over 35,000 people a year. But yeah, I had a partial stroke in Coffs Harbour and was then driven to Lismore Mental Health Service. But I'm Mr. Harry Stiller. See, it's terrorism that I paid slave tax from the age of 14 and 9 months or 15. I've been paying slave tax from the age of 15, and I went back to TAFE when I was 16 or 17 and did education there. But it's terrorism. I've been paying slave tax to the government since the age of 15. It's terrorism. Pay slave tax in this country for fucking what? The malware of the government. When one Australian dies, what they're like in the media, but there's a massacre of 35,000 Australians a year, funded by Definition 6, and they won't broadcast, and they'll just say death unknown, yet the pharmaceutical industries wanted to make money. And the malware of the government will continue in the shape. And no one, at the moment, in no Definition 6 state area of Australia, of King Charles III Commonwealth of Australia realm, do these people have a day in court before involuntary treatment to prosecute the government, because the referral information could be false, it could be context name, it could be measured malware that, possibly couldn't exist, could it? If BCI exists, brain computer interface. There's, as I said, LFDRA do and don't support BCI technologies. We don't support surgical BCI technologies, but there's EEC, which measures the brain with electrodes to a computer, and that's EEC. And MRIs, measurement really invasive MRIs, that measures the brain to a hard drive. That is terrorism. To be abducted and drugged and have your brain measured to a hard drive of a computer and put in all these different spectrum colors measured to a hard drive. And what did Texas Uni found out? They discovered semantic decoding, which has probably been around before I was even born, to be honest. Semantic decoding's probably been around before I was even born. It's on the neuroscience page. But the government's I've got a metabolic induced syndrome from the government. I've only started to recover in the physical aspect, how I've lost 11 kilos because they've stopped blocking dopamine. But it's terrorism. They'll just abduct and drug you at a moment's notice on made-up shit because they got their quota. It's terrorism. Pay slave tax in this terrorist regime country for fucking what? How would every member of ALP, how would every member of LMP, Fed and Definition 6 like to be abducted and drugged on made-up shape thinking ideology malware and just injected to induce stroke or death and say, no, these 35,000 massacre murders that Definition 6 has committed doesn't exist? It's terrorism. According to it, I was just listening to ABC Radio Canberra, and according to it, the radio presenter had someone on their ABC Radio Canberra show just before 5:26 or 4:26 or 2:36 or something. And according to it, the person they had on ABC Radio Canberra said, you don't need a car anymore. That's what he claimed. He claimed people don't need cars anymore. On ABC Radio Canberra, that's what they broadcast. Well, excuse me, people need... So it's now a policy of the LFDRA that if we ever do have victory, that the person that spoke on the ABC Radio Canberra show on the 27th of November, we'd confiscate the person's car that was on ABC Radio that said you don't need a car anymore. We'd confiscate his car and crush it. And it would be legislated that he's not allowed to own a car because he broadcast, oh, you don't need a car anymore. Well, that's actually not the case. Everyone needs a car in Australia or Republic of Australia. Every living person needs a car in Australia or Republic of Australia. So just because you live in a city where there might be public transport doesn't mean you still... What if you wanted to go for a drive to the beach? What if you wanted to go for a drive to somewhere else? This dude reckons on ABC Radio Canberra that you don't need a car anymore. That is terrorism. That is absolute terrorism. People need cars. People use their cars. It might not be every day of their life. While some people it's every day of their life, or a couple of days off every day from having a car, but every living person in Australia, Republic of Australia, needs a car. So it is now Republic of Australia LFDRA party policy, if there's ever a victory, for a fair and equal stable way, that the person that was on ABC Radio talking to the presenter on the 27th of November, his car would be crushed and it would be legislated that he can't have a complimentary generic Oz car or Rust car, and that would be legislated, that would be put in place, that the person that spoke on ABC Radio that said you don't need a car, we'd crush his car if he ever owns a car. We'd crush his car, so there's no like, oh, you're running late, you missed the school bus, you need to lift the school. No, we'll crush his car, because according to it, he broadcast you don't need a car. The conclusion to the hypothesis about breath tests: nothing good will happen after a breath test. That is fact. Nothing good will happen after a breath test. Yeah, as I said, nothing good will happen after a breath test or a drug test. So the conclusion is a breath test, a forced breath test, as in blowing this, a forced breath test, nothing, the fact is nothing. You might not be drink driving, but the fact is nothing good will happen after a forced breath test. And same with the saliva drug test, nothing good will happen either. You might not be drug driving or whatever they call it. You might not be drink driving,
But after a random breath test, nothing good will happen. How would you like to be abducted and drugged by definition 6 on orders of the federal government, to be just on shit made up, just be abducted and drugged for the rest of your fucking life, labelled for the rest of your fucking life, and abducted and drugged without any day in court to prosecute the government for compensation? How would every member of the Labor Party, how would every member of the Liberal National Party like to be arrested and drugged without a day in court? We'll do that back. If we ever had victory, we'd do it back to them for 12 years and see how they like it. What the Texas unis found in, they were founders of semantic decoding, publicity about semantic decoding. It's nothing new. EEC's been around for a long time. Invasive measurements, semantic decoding. There's game players and there's game developers. It's as simple as that. There's game players and game developers, but the context, there's game developers and game players. This is a little bit of LFDRA audio today. I might be doing some shorts soon on the channel. Might be doing some shorts. So I was going to do the other two that the 25th of November, I was going to turn them into shorts. I still could make the 25th of November 2024 LFDRA audio recordings into shorts. I could do that. That'd be interesting. So how would every member of the Australian Labor Party, how would they all like to consume the laws they've dished up? How would every member of the Liberal National Party Queensland like to be abducted and drugged? And how would every member of the Liberal National Party Queensland and the Labor Party Queensland, how would they all like to be arrested and abducted and drugged without a day in court for over 12 years, labelled on shit made up in the measured apparatus? How would they like to consume that for over 12 years without a day in court? You should be able to have a day in court. If someone's made shit up about you, you should be able to have a day in court before. But according to the laws, they can just exploit people in the human slavery trade, because faculties need clients for that. Faculties need clients, which are students. Faculties need clients to make money. And the pharmaceutical industries need faculty students to make money, to flog their products. In the favouritism law circles of King Charles III Commonwealth of Australia realm. Though how would every member of, I don't think, see, it's terrorism what they do. It's terrorism it's malware. The Liberal National Party's Liberal National Party's been a publicly listed terrorist organisation for quite some time because they're in favouritism support of King Charles III realm. So yeah, that's about it for LFDRA audio today. You don't realise the High Court has committed genocide. ALP have committed genocide. LNP have committed genocide. You'll still believe in the faculty ideology that things are a health product. That's your ideology, that things are a health product. So the High Court has funded the murders. The Fed has funded the murders of over 35,000 people a year. If there was a fucking massacre and 35,000 people were dead, the thing is, there's a massacre every year committed by the Fed. Nothing happens. They get funded and they claim it to be a health product, and 35,000 people are murdered, and who profits the $10 billion? pay slave tax in this country for fucking what? What? Pay slave tax in this country as a dead or alive bought and sold slave? Pay slave tax in this country for fucking what? Definition 6 are paid $100 and something thousand a year, but they like to eat food, but the way they'll behave, but they like to eat food and the way they'll behave. They pay slave tax in this terrorist regime country of King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, for fucking what? There's 640,000 households living in tents, context households. The Fed uses. Homeless. Homeless. That's another word. Households, homeless. There's 640,000 households living in fucking tents, right? They reckon there's 120,000 homeless, but the percentage of the population forced to rent in fucking ALP law, LMP law, Greens law, it's fucking terrorism. The Fed's not going to give time of day to complementary residential policy because they're a terrorist organisation that support the favouritism of King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm. The Liberal National Party, the ALP, the LNP. They're not going to do anything fit. Well, they use this ideology yet context. But the Liberal National Party, the ALP, the Greens, they're not going to do a fair and equal, stable way for a living person in this country. The way their favouritism, how the Senate, the High Court, all their favouritism, the King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, according to the Daily Mail on MSN, according to that, the royal family spending 300 and something million pounds on Buckingham Palace. Since the involuntary mental state inducement forced objections have stopped. See, at a moment's notice, they could just, someone could make shit up and I could be abducted and drugged and labelled. Though, before I was involuntarily arrested in Maryborough, taken straight to Maryborough, as I was talking about Thomas S. Monson and Mr. Stiller Harry, MHS, Mr. Harry Stiller, Maryborough Health Service. When I was first weighed there, I was about 80-something kilos. And ever since the forced injections, I've put on over 50 kilos of weight. Though since the forced injections have stopped, after the involuntary arrest in Toowoomba for mental state inducement, so far I've lost, on the 20th of November, Wednesday, I've lost 11 kilos so far. So it's reduced the metabolic syndrome effect, the dopamine blockers. So I've started, because I possess dopamine, I don't have the metabolic syndrome, but it affects some people in different ways. I've lost 11 kilos so far, and I've been doing the same, eating the same, and I've lost 11 kilos. Though I noticed, since the forced injections have ceased for a period of time until someone makes shit up, see, it affects people in different ways. See, it's got 2 ions of acid in it. And there is a clinical trial death rate statistic. So definition 6 can abduct and drug whoever they want. Though I've said it over this in a previous recording, I was actually talking about Thomas S. Monson and the Utah Mormon cult. I've said this in a previous broadcast, and how Thomas S. Monson was a Vietnam veteran, so he obviously worked for the CIA. And I was just talking about Thomas S. Monson, that my brother, Mr. Stiller, ended up having Thomas S. Monson on Facebook, and I've said that. Though, prior to the arrest in Maryborough, see, what's Maryborough Health Services, Mr. Harry Stiller.
and I was talking about Thomas S. Monson, treat Stiller's mind. In measured autonomy exists. They'll be of the opinion that 250 measured MAR 250 plus doesn't exist. I'll be of the opinion, well, does Microsoft have Mahjong? Similar to that, it's just the specifications that the measured apparatus is applied to. You can see the neuroscience page. The dopamine blockers, they call them antipsychotics, but context, Mr. Harry Stiller, Maryborough Health Service. I have sent letters to Definition 6 asking for compensation, but I've never received a reply. I haven't had a day in court to prosecute the government for over 12 years since I was arrested in Maryborough and taken to Maryborough Health Service. And before even seeing a psychologist, I was just forcefully injected and thrown into seclusion. So I haven't found any benefit from being abducted and drugged by the government. I haven't found any health benefits from it. I haven't had any health benefits from being abducted and drugged by the government. How people are claiming people will flog the product of the faculties and their shape thinking ideology. Though dopamine blockers affect people differently, and there is a statistical death rate. There is a death rate. So the Fed is funding a genocide, and the Definition 6 is facilitating it. There's over 35,000 murders by Definition 6 funded by the Fed each year, which could be aggregated to the clinical trial death rate statistic of the actual clinical trials of the pharmaceutical industries that make shit up, that want their products injected into forcefully abducted and drugged people, forcefully abducted and labelled people in faculty health circle ideologies. Sigmund, still a Mr. Stiller, Sigmund Freud, still a Mr. Though dopamine blockers affect people in certain ways, though I find with dopamine blockers, it reduces my ability to actually exercise. It reduces my ability to. I might still do the same amount of exercise, though it increases my when they stop their forced injections, it increases my I start losing weight to go back down to my healthy BMI. It increases my ability to exercise, but they'll still go on in their faculty shape thinking ideology. So when you block dopamine, that's also on the LFDRA mental health reform page about what happens, what the side effects are when you block dopamine. So I'm not going over this anymore because I've already been over it on previous broadcasts in @Harry Stiller LFDRA. I don't know when this one's going on YouTube. I don't know if I'll put subtitles. I might put subtitles. If there's subtitles on it, I'll put the Australian English subtitles. But I've noticed with the Australian English subtitles, when I say like LFDRA.org, it won't spell it correctly in the subtitles. If I say LFDRA, it won't pronounce it correctly in the subtitles. So we'll see how it goes. But I've lost 11 kilos. I've lost 11 kilos since they've stopped the forced injections. But see, the Fed and Definition 6 of King Charles III Commonwealth of Australia realm, they'll claim that measured autonomy doesn't exist. They'll still go with their faculty shape thinking ideologies. See, Mark Butler has shape thinking faculty ideologies. I bet you Mark Butler's never had to consume on the consumer end. What would happen if we just made shit up about Mark Butler, arrested Mark Butler, just made shit up about Mark Butler, arrested him, drugged him, forcefully injected him before even seeing a psychiatrist, locked him into seclusion, just made shit up about him, labelled him, and then forcefully injected him for over 12 years without a day in court. How do you think he'd be then, you terrorist regime cunts? You vote that way, you terrorist regime cunts. That's who fucking Labor and Liberal are. You see, what's context Mark Butler? Medical board, Mark Butler, Mark, MK, medical killers, Mr. Killer, medical killers, medical killer, Mark, MK, Butler, BR. I don't know. Mark Butler, medical killers, measured, I don't know, Mark Butler, medical board, minister Minister's board, Minister something, Mr. Mark Butler, Mr. Butler, medical boards. Mr. Harry Stiller, Maryborough Health Service. That happened in 2013 in April. I was talking to my sister Kim about Thomas S. Monson. And what's Thomas S. Monson? TSM. Treat Stiller's mind. So in some aspect of the measured apparatus, Mr. Harry Stiller was taken to Maryborough Health Services on shit that my sister Kim made up. She made up all this shit, and Thomas S. Monson was a Vietnam veteran and did work for the CIA and was the head of the Mormon Utah cult. The Mormon cult. Measurement crimes and measurement theft crimes exist as well. There are measurement crimes and there are measurement theft crimes, and I've said this before. So, yeah, that's it for this edition of at Harry Stiller LFDRA. Welcome. This is LFDRA audio at Harry Stiller LFDRA. This is a educational broadcast about the LFDRA website and the search terms on Bing, and LFDRA audio that might just be people and blogs. So this is at Harry Stiller LFDRA. So we're going to type in LFDRA and we're going to search that, see how LFDRA Union and LFDRA BWUA is indexed. We're going to type LFDRA. And you can see the presentation on Bing. So comp page 21, residential membership, volunteers, donation, Republic of Australia hourly rate minimum, simple taxation, city boundaries, Republic of Australia. Though over here you can't see I've got webmaster tools, but I'm still learning how to put the logo in this section of on Bing, though Google's 90-something% share of the internet search engine market, and Microsoft is 3-point-something%. So that's that, and this is this bit. So we're gonna go through from. So far, there's been LFDRA.com. It started with LFDRA.org and a whole heap of other websites. That's the search term for LFDRA on Bing. So the first website that started was LFDRA.org, and then it was somehow got deleted or something. So we're going to go to LFDRA.com. So we're going to go to there. This is LFDRA.com. That's an old photo from, that's a clipping from LFDRA, Founding Live Videos LFDRA, at Founding Live Videos LFDRA, from one of the live Facebook videos. ROA stands for Republic of Australia. So you can see in more and scroll down. There's the neuroscience page, Founding Party of Reform, all of that. And then LFDRA policies are there. And they've been our policies since 2017, just rewritten a different way. I don't know if I'm allowed to record the Australian coat of arms on the shared PDF, because the PDF is on this page. I'll see what happens. I'll see what happens. So this is the PDF viewer guide for registration as a party. So I'm saving paper, which is actually an initiative of the Rudd-Gillard government, was a paper saving initiative. That's the PDF. Oh, it's not the actual coat of arms. I don't know if the coat of arms are on there, but that's the PDF, federal registration of political parties. So that's the guide for registering a political party in Australia under King Charles, is at September 21, 2021. That's why, well, I don't know if a republic referendum is required. It just requires people to get a stapler and print out the mail out flyer and staple it to the ballot box. You could do that if you wanted a fair and equal, stable way. That's if you want to donate to Harry J. Stiller, Republic of Australia, LFDRA party. It's Mr. Harry John Matthew Stiller. See, I've got a long name. My full name is Harry John Matthew Kevin Kenneth William Stanley Stiller. But as I said, there's on the other page, $2.75 a month. You can donate as much or as little as you want, though $2.75 a month is actually works out at the membership fees for LFDRA per year, $2.75 a month, less than probably, what's that, a kilo of bananas? Depends what supermarket you're at. I'm pretty sure bananas are probably $3.50 a kilo, $4 a kilo. What's that, half a kilo of bananas or a kilo of bananas? And we'll scroll down. And that's some mental health reform stuff. And some logos and some stuff about yeah, policy enforcement. One's missing an E. These are some of the we'll show it more. Yeah, I'm gonna get one of these tattooed. I'm gonna get a tattoo. Oh, we haven't gone past it yet. I'm gonna get a custom tattoo of one of these. Yeah, this here is the ROA regions. That's the ROA regions, LFDRA or something, and you'll probably get the page. And these are all pages you can click on, and you see that's all the pages you can click on. So that's about that website. That's been 7 minutes, 7 minutes 43. So we'll just scroll back down for a second and just check that one. I'll just give you some. Oh, I'm not going to read them. You can read them. You can pause it and read them if you want. We're going to go to the second website, which was the old first website, LFDRA.org. That's LFDRA.org there. We'll go to, we'll type in LFDRA.org here and see that's LFDRA.org. We'll go to home LFDRA. We're already there, but we'll go to it again. So English News Live, you can see it here. Policies, these are policies again, just written a different way, and some more and new and different and not different, similar. Nothing's different from 2017 policy, 2018 policy, it's still the same. This is more. LFDRA parties, Republic of Australia, LFDRA party, Republic of Australia, Founding Party of Reform, LFDRA party, Republic of Australia, Republican Party of Reform, LFDRA party, Republic of Australia, Republican Democrat, LFDRA party, Republic of Australia, ALP, LNP, LFDRA party. And there's a link to ROA, LFDRA websites and social media pages, LFDRA. Yeah, if you can hear the fan, I got the fan on. It's 2:59 a.m. on the 17th, the 11th, 2024. This is this page. So you founded 2017 new website LFDRA.com. This is this page. And it just shows the pages of the websites, but I don't think this has been updated recently, or maybe it has. I don't think it's fully up. Yeah, this section here is not fully updated. We'll go to that page in a minute. We'll just scroll down. See, this is the PDF viewer for AEC September 2021 law change. This is the PDF here again. It might have the coat of arms in it, but it's saving paper was an initiative of the Rudd Gillard government, so it's just like having a paper copy in your office, so it saves paper. And that's another donate. And they're the pages. Yeah, long live all Republic of Australian people and LFDRA. You can see this page had a bit of new English News Live in it, so I had some spare pages on this page, so I thought I'd do that. Put some English News Live on it. These are all pages you can click on. We'll go to the third website. These are I'm only showing the home pages of the three websites. So we'll go back to the search. That's when you search lfdra.org. What comes up? Yeah, the Harry J Stiller YouTube. This one, that's Founding Live video broadcasts that were on Facebook Live, uploaded to YouTube channel for LFDRA.org 2017, 2018, and probably 2019 as well. So we'll go to, we'll type in ROA LFDRA.com and see it just comes up with this Ronaldo bloke. So it's not really, see, that's ROA LFDRA stands for Republic of Australia LFDRA.com. We'll go here and it shows that it used to come up with the Ronaldo stuff. And you can scroll through here. There's 4 pages. So we'll go to the home page. So this is the home page. Before I scroll down the home page of ROALFDRA.com, we'll go to the mail out flyer page. LFDRA RL. So that is the mail out flyer. And mail out flyer, you can donate for the mail out flyer. And that's the PDF. So if it was going to print, that's an A4 piece of paper. So 1 million of them is 3 million mail outs. 1 million sheets of A4 paper is 3 million mail outs. So we'd probably need 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, probably 4 million A4 pieces of paper and black and yellow ink. And a ink refill printer that would do that. And then we need letterbox deliverers. Though if we had the $10 million donation or the $15 million donation, we'd be able to send it out through Australia Post. Or it'd probably be, so what's 1 million A4, 3.5 or 4 million A4 pieces of paper. That's the mail out flyer there. It's in PDF. You can print them and hand them out. And here and there. That's the download PDF. That's the mail out flyer. So this is all the suburbs of the mail out flyer. Assembly delegates. That's on ROAFA, Republic of Australia Federation Assembly. These are all the cities, shires, and towns. Assembly delegate mayor of, in all the suburbs of them. And this is the page. This is only a few. This is not a LFDRA.com and LFDRA.org both have 50 pages, so that's 100 pages. This one, we'll count this 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 43. That's 43 pages, so there's 7 pages left. So that's the mail out flyer page. And we'll go back to the home page. So this is the home page. I don't know if this page has been updated with all the page names, though. We'll go to, I think it possibly may be updated with all the pages, but we'll go to the other page we'll go to. Yeah, and that's another donation, PayPal QR code. We'll go to the Of the Day TV 24 website, and we'll go to more site pages, and we'll go to our website pages. This is our website pages. Click show more plus show more, and that's there to pages. Yeah, I'm giving up smoking when I'm 40. I'm giving up smoking tobacco when I'm 40. Um, so we'll go see the Founding Live videos. You see here over 110,000 views on live vids. Like, subscribe, and comment. That was on Facebook, but they were boosted and they were probably only for 3 seconds. So the only people who watched it completely have probably been YouTube views. And see, this is the playlist, and you can scroll down the playlist, and you can actually shuffle, and it's quite interesting the shuffle it'll give you. If you open it up on YouTube and play it on YouTube, that it's actually an interesting shuffle, this, because it goes like first to 12th video to 9th to 7th to 15th to 4th and so forth. So it's actually quite interesting to watch it that way. Yeah, but I think there's a few videos missing, but I don't know. I don't know if they're all the videos that I went live with on Facebook. But on the analytics of those videos on Facebook, there might have been 111,000 views, but they were less than 3 seconds. So how about that? Because people just scroll through because Facebook is hardcore monetized. So it was all about making money. I don't want to advocate on behalf of Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook the way he's monetized Facebook. Yeah, I'm a fan of Marketplace, but if Marketplace was separate from Facebook, I'd probably still use Marketplace on Facebook, though I'm not advocating the way he's monetized the other side of Facebook, not Marketplace, but the way he's monetized the way he made money out of Facebook, and federal laws have changed, and then Facebook's changed, but how Facebook started was sort of doxing. So that's that. And Landscape Edition. Landscape Edition is interesting. Are we going to Landscape Edition? Yeah, we might go to Landscape Edition. Let's go to Landscape Edition. This is Landscape Edition. You can probably visit these places with Google Maps Street View, but I just bit of ergonomics, do a bit of Landscape Edition. Yeah, that's it for this recording. So it's 3:11 a.m. On the 17th 11th 2024. This will be published at www.youtube.com/@Harry Stiller LFDRA, probably on the 17th 11th 2024. Um, uh, yeah, we're on Google Chrome. We'll just type in LFDRA on Google Chrome. Type in LFDRA, and you'll see how it shows the logo, but it's not very clear. Shows LFDRA.com, LFDRA.org. Um, that's not our website. That's not our website. That's not our website either. Um, that's that's one of our YouTube channels. Um, that's one of the Facebook pages, and that's what Google does when you search LFDRA. So we'll just type in LFDRA social media pages, and we'll go there. So we'll go to social media pages. Um, so the 11th, 2024, there was 40,761 followers on our LFDRA discussion pages on Facebook. Thanks everyone for following. Visitor totals and views for websites lfdra.org, lfdra.com, and roalfdra.com, and of the day tv24.net over the past 12 months to the 14th 11th 2024 were 5,746, with a total cost for the 12 months of $2,000 plus. And this happened the other day on the 15th 11th 2024. According to it, after revealing my followers statistics, this happened on Facebook. Though Anthony Albanese's in Peru or something for APEC or something. According to it, I'm blocked on Facebook. They're saying I'm spam or something. I don't want to be an advocate for Mark Zuckerberg Facebook with these LFDRA discussion pages, because as we know, I spelt, yeah, this was probably out of haste. Haste is another word. HS, Harry's still a haste. So Facebook is using a bit of haste with the algorithm, and I'm blocked. Yeah. So, is King Charles, because as we know, it is, see that there should be a space there, is King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, who has won with the malware spyware regime of USA. So I'm probably, and then there's an RP, it should be PR in probably. That was just written out of haste. I wrote that on my phone with the, so I didn't, I don't I don't know. It's a bit, maybe probably PR or PRO. So I've pressed P before R and wrote it R Po baby. It's probably deleting all Facebook pages, including my own profile, since 2017. Now these pages are still there, but I can't post on them. I can't like them. I can't comment. Facebook has blocked. Ever since I released this section on the website on the 11th, 2024, about 40,761 followers on the LFDRA discussion pages. This happened. So that's what's going on. These are the discussion pages. And so I've written it again there, and it's still got no space between is king and the RP and probably. And that's them. And Republic of Australia, LFDRA party websites are there. And that's the pages. This is a full 50 pages. So ROA LFDRA websites, we'll go to that page since we're here on Google. So that's pretty much on this. I don't know if this page has been updated. It probably hasn't been updated with name change order. Yeah, LFDRA. This page hasn't been updated. So the most recent update is this page here, our website pages. So this is the most updated one. Oh, the dryer's still going. So that's about of the day TV 24 and Republic of Australia LFDRA party. So that concludes the video today. So I thought we were going to finish at 3:11, though we went over a few things, and that's of the day TV 24.net, LFDRA.org, LFDRA.com, and ROA LFDRA.com. Thanks for watching. Please do like, subscribe, and comment. And LFDRA audio has been spoken today by Chief President, Mr. Harry, John, Matthew, Kevin, Kenneth, William, Stanley, Stiller of the fake last name that MI5 ordered at my dad's birth, which there's a full story written by me on the page name change order on LFDRA.org, which was the last page of the 50 pages. You can read the full story there. And this is at Harry Stiller LFDRA. Thanks for watching. Please do, as I said, like, subscribe, comment.
You see, David Johnston is Chi-F of David Johnston. What's the context of David Johnston? DJ, Department Judge, Defense Judge, what's some other words with DJ? David Johnston, DJ Johnston, David, DD, David, Defense Department, David, D and D. First letter of David, D. Last letter of David, D, David, Defense Department. And then what was it? Johnston, Defense Department, Judge, Neurology, Judge, Neurologist, Judge, Neurology. Look at the context. David, DD, Defense Department. Johnston, Judge, Neurology, Systems, Neurology, SN. Surgeon Neurologist, Systems Neurology. Defense Department, David, DD. David starts with D, ends with D. So there's Defense Department. Why joined the Defense Department? Because why went through the ranks? Because his name was David. Why David Hurley was Defense Department headquarters, Defense Department headquarters, CHS, HS, Defense Department headquarters, HS. David Johnston, Defense Department. It'd be interesting. I don't even know who the terrorist regime that's committed genocide. I know what regime that is, and that's King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, that's committed genocide. I couldn't tell you who the Governor-Generals of King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, all I know is they're all listed terrorists because King Charles III, Commonwealth of Australia realm, has committed genocide with the Governor-Generals. The Governor-Generals have committed genocide as well on the civil population. But context David Johnston. See, David Hurley, DD, Defence Department. See, you'll just claim the measured malware and spyware don't exist. Measured systems. And what systems? And why is it the MAR? Because measured sensory. And John, it's terrorism. I'm not whinging about China because all I'll ever say is, the president of China will say he's not happy with Tibet Autonomous Region. And obviously he says Tibet Autonomous Region, that he's not happy about it. So that's it for LFDRA audio. Maybe I'll quit YouTube now with LFDRA audio. There's 50-something videos on @HarryStiller LFDRA. This might be the last one because no one's subscribing, no one's liking, no one's commenting, and because the internet's monetized. See, Donald Trump's Truth Social, when I checked the statistics of it, had about a million plus users, or whatever you call it, with a million plus users. And yeah, so, but see, because I think Australia's wasted itself. It's just big noted itself over its, oh no, we're not in a measured apparatus. Nah, we're not in measured malware. Oh no, it's never been exploited. Oh yeah, bullshit. There's game players and there's game developers. There's game players and there's game developers. Game players, game developers. Jumanji. It was an interesting film. Jumanji. Game players, game developers. That's. I might quit YouTube. I might give up with YouTube because Facebook's been a cunt, and see, the market share rolls with the internet. It goes Google, YouTube, Facebook, and you see, Google's market share of the internet is 90-something%, and Microsoft's market share of the internet is 3.something%. So Microsoft's share of the internet's 3.something%, and Google's market share of the internet is 90-something%. So when you work that out, and Facebook would be the other percentage of it. So, but in other rankings, but the share of the internet is Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Microsoft Online Programming is there as well. Because all the other operating systems were no longer supported. So See, but the thing is, the Fed wants backdoors to everything, They are all these backdoors and all these backdoors into all this shit. Is it making people safer to have a back door to fucking everything?
How good would it be, like a Las Vegas style city in Republic of Australia? The only difference would be how in Las Vegas in America, there's homeless people living in the drains. With an LFDRA party government in Republic of Australia, homelessness wouldn't exist, though the media ain't going to give stack broadcast time to LFDRA party policy on complementary residential. There's no way media are going to give, because see, they're invested in rents. Property managers want to grow the rent roll, so they put rents up and then blaming it on inflation. Though we've only got inflation because of the strong US dollar. We've only got inflation because of the strong US dollar against the Australian dollar. Though Donald Trump and America have the right to do whatever they want. They've had their war of independence with the British. America has the right to do whatever they want, though when it comes to Australia, I think we're seeing the squeeze on inflation because of the high US dollar currency market and the low Aussie dollar against the US dollar. Though America, all the media organisations in Australia just seem to have opinion after opinion after opinion about America, though America had their war of independence and America's got every right to do whatever they want to do as Americans. And it's already been in some of my other broadcasts on YouTube at Harry Stiller LFDRA about if America adopted the complementary residential policy. Though a Las Vegas style city in Australia in the desert with a desalination water hydroelectricity production system, maybe not that many casinos, but homelessness wouldn't exist because there'd be complementary residential policy. See, under a Republic of Australia LFDRA party government, there's no such thing as homelessness. Homelessness wouldn't exist. All there'd be is probably youth that maybe have falling out with their parents, or they have to leave a residential before the age of 19 and before the age of 21, and they might have to share with friends that have a complementary residential or share in some other type of accommodation before they can, while they're at university, before complementary residential, if they're doing a year at university, before 18 months of service. But they'll still have advanced standings in degrees. See, that 18 months of service, that's pretty much preparing you for the rest of your life with some skills and all of that. But homelessness wouldn't exist with an LFDRA, Republic of Australia LFDRA party government, a Republic of Australia League for a Public Democracy of Australia, League for a Public Democracy of Republic of Australia, LFDRA. That's what LFDRA stands for. LFDRA stands for League for a Public Democracy of Australia and League for a Public Democracy of Republic of Australia. Homelessness doesn't exist with a Republic of Australia LFDRA party government. There's the Republic of Australia Republican Party of Reform and Republic of Australia Republican Democrat Party Republic of Australia Republican LFDRA Party of Reform and Republic of Australia Republican Democrat LFDRA Party. though with the Republic of Australia LFDRA party government, homelessness doesn't exist. It solves homelessness. I'm not going to get into the reasons why. I'm not going to get into the reasons why I know that Republic of Australia LFDRA party government has the only policy to solve homelessness, though all I know is with the Republic of Australia LFDRA party government, homelessness doesn't exist. So with though the media organisations and the media apparatuses that have the stack and broadcast apparatus license, they're not going to give any attention, or they're going to manipulate to their paid opinion line of their democratic ideology, their more democratic monogamous ideology in political law circles in favour of King Charles III Commonwealth of Australia realm, and in favour of ALP and or LNP. That's going to be how it rolls, how in America it's Republican, Democrat, Democrat, Republican, and in Australia how it's ALP or LNP. So all I know is the Republic of Australia LFDRA party policy that was drafted by me, Harry J. Still. I'm the existing Chief President of the League for Republic Democracy of Australia, League for Republic Democracy of Republic of Australia, and Republic of Australia LFDRA Party. I'm the Chief President. All I know is it solves homelessness. So as I said, in Las Vegas, which is a desert city, they tried getting a desert city like that up in Alice Springs, though how we saw on Spanion about racial violence and tribal violence. I couldn't believe it when I heard on Spanion that just because you're this or that, you can't sit at a pub and have a few beers, or you can't, go to the bottle shop and get a cask of beer and drink a couple of beers after work. I couldn't believe that. But the tribal violence and the racial violence, according to Spanion, the racial violence, the highest rate of racial violence is in Alice Springs. Though the thing is, we can get water pipes from the ocean to the desert and create artificial streams and create, like, for example, the French Olympics, how they created the kayak stream at the Olympics. You can do that with desalination osmosis, taking the salt, turning it to fresh drinking water, treating the fresh drinking water, as well as collecting rainwater and diverting rainwater to hydroelectricity. Though they had this ideology of digging this big tunnel for Snowy Hydro 2.0. There's no problem with frozen water melt. It's just that all I know is that rainwater is becoming a bit more bleachy. Some rainwaters, depends where the precipitation comes from to the bleach level of the water, because water treatment plants from wastewater have a lot of bleachers, chlorinated bleachers in their treatment processes. So the precipitation from water treatment, rainwater, can sometimes taste a little bleachy. Though homelessness would not exist with a Republic of Australia LFDRA party government, and no media apparatus, no media broadcast license, ALP, LNP don't want people to know this. And we know the policies and which way they'll roll with their malware. But the thing is, at the end of the day, at the moment, it's King Charles III Commonwealth of Australia realm. And the royal family will claim to be this, that, and everything. But if I do stand corrected, all we have to look at is the context of Scott Morrison's name and look at the syllable context of Morrison. I've been over this. I'm not going over it again. I haven't broadcast it, but I'm not going to broadcast it like Morrison. MORRI. Return India, Rev India. But who was it? The realm that Scott Morrison swore to serve was King Charles III. That's who Scott Morrison swore to serve, was Queen Elizabeth or King Charles III. That realm, that's who Scott Morrison swore to serve. And that's homelessness, that's malware, that's genocide. They committed genocide in India. The realm of King Charles committed genocide in India. Yeah, I've said this before. It's on LFDRA.com, Mental Health Reform LFDRA page about the frontier massacres in Australia. It's in in Australia. It's affected all of us either which way. And Definition 6 is still going on with their measured apparatus genocide, and they're not going to come clean. They're not going to, because their belief system is they've got a belief system because they've studied at a faculty and they've been shaped thinking in their ideology, and they've got a belief system that, their belief system is to their ideology or what they got a hex stat for at the faculty, and that's their belief system. Though all I know is Republic of Australia LFDRA party is the only party that's got the policy to solve homelessness. And we saw what happened in Definition 6 Queensland of King Charles realm, how the LNP have terminated hydroelectricity projects. They've terminated free school lunches, complimentary cafeteria kitchens for schools, complimentary lunches for daycares, primary school and high schools. TAFE colleges, TAFE colleges and universities would be, there's student allowances and all of that. That's on the Centrelink policy page on one of the three websites, one of the three LFDRA websites. So all I know is Republic of Australia LFDRA party is the only political party in the Southern Hemisphere, possibly even the planet, that solves homelessness completely. So because the residential property market is monetised, we're not going to see any solutions to solve homelessness, because I'll say homelessness is a mental illness. Some particular political ideologies, state governments on the planet have that belief system that homelessness is a mental illness. Though in Australia of King Charles III realm, they correct to it in Definition 6 law, and they're trying to they're trying to sell renting because the investment returns are higher for property investment rental exploits. Stack media apparatus licenses aren't going to give any broadcast apparatus time to the real solution to solve homelessness completely for a fair and equal, stable way. There's no chance, because they're in favour of King Charles III realm, and all members of parliaments in Australia are sworn to serve King Charles III. So there'll be no fair or equal, stable way with the realm of King Charles. Though Americans did the right thing with their War of Independence, and America's got the right to do whatever they want to do. Though the only reason we're seeing inflation is because of the high US dollar, but they need a buying power as well with their currency. Though Australia or Republic of Australia need a higher Republic of Australia dollar, Aussie dollar, AUS dollar, for a buying power. That'd probably decrease inflation, because they blamed it on a lot of things, but it's because of the high US dollar that we're seeing the inflation. Yeah, this is at Harry Stiller LFDRA, www.youtube.com/at Harry Stiller LFDRA. Yeah, this is 6-string electric recording. New recording 1. 6-string electric guitar practice. 19th 6-string electric guitar practice with the electronic tuner. So my amp wasn't working before. There was a big argument on the phone over using the word cunt, and it was a bit of a cunt. Australian Parliament House has broadcast the word cunt. I don't think Australians refer to the word cunt to the British term. There's the British definition of the word, though Australians don't use the British definition of the word. People use the word cunt in various definitions and terms, and there's heaps of different uses of the word. It's mainstream accepted today, the word cunt. It can mean this is a fucking hassle, or it can mean this is a fucking hassle. It can mean heaps of things. The definition of the word cunt in Australia is not to the British definition of the word. I'll try changing over the leads and see if my guitar amp wants to work. So there's heaps of definitions of the word cunt. I don't think Australians... Okay, I'll go over a few definitions when I use the word cunt. I've never used the word cunt, like you're a fucking cunt, or this is a fuck around cunt, or all this shit. Meaning, sometimes people will use it like, this is a fucking hassle. This is a fucking hassle. Like something's a hassle. Like you're working for some cunt, right? I'm talking about definition. You're working for a cunt, and the cunt is being a hassle. And it's... So you might tell the cunt off, or the cunt's been a hassle, and you'll say, like, I'm walking out, or some bullshit like that, and it'd be like saying, oh, it's a fucking cunt. Like, this is a fucking hassle. Sometimes the word cunt is used when in the definition of the word hassle. It's not slang. The word cunt is not slang. Australian parliamentarians in APH, in the fucking genocide proliferation regime of APH, they've used the word cunt in Parliament. It's an acceptable word. It's just how you use it. People have different interpretations of the word, of the definition of the word. So there's heaps of definitions of the word cunt. British people are offended by the word cunt. Australians use the word cunt. Sometimes when you use the word cunt against another male, it can mean like you want to have a go, you want to have a crack at the title. That's what it can mean. If you say the word cunt, it can mean you're now like punching on with that person, and it's been a big fucking hassle when you use the word cunt. There's heaps of definitions. Cunt is used every day. Some people have got the ideology that only men are allowed to use the word cunt, not in front of a woman. Women can use the word cunt. It's an acceptable word. It's got heaps of definitions. If I was to write a dictionary with every terminology of using the word cunt, it's an accepted word. Like, this is a fucking hassle. That's what it can mean as well. Like, you're talking about an employer, and the employer's been a cunt, being a fucking hassle. So you use the word, oh, he's a fucking cunt to work for, hassle to work for. People just put the word cunt in for the meaning of hassle. So you can say cunt. If this is a fucking hassle, oh, this is a cunt. Meaning this is a big hassle. It means heaps of different definitions. The British definition is wrong. I don't think there's an Australian ever that's used the word cunt to the British definition. Well, that was new recording 1, 19th electric guitar practice 6 string.
Yeah, this is Chief President Harry J. Stiller of the LFDRA, Republic of Australia LFDRA party. On YouTube at Harry Stiller LFDRA. We support hydroelectricity production. We've seen what's happened in Queensland. We saw on Microsoft News, we saw that the Liberal National Party in Definition 6 of the Monarchist League Constitution in Queensland has closed the funding, have exited from the projects of hydroelectricity in Queensland in that Definition 6 section of King Charles III Commonwealth of Australia realm. We support the LFDRA, Republic of Australia LFDRA party, supports hydroelectricity production. It's on the, I think it's on the nuclear power stations page. It's under nuclear power stations. We support hydroelectricity production because we support desalination, osmosis, and hydroelectricity, because when you create an artificial stream or you get water flowing in a river system, you can create electricity with turbine electricity from hydroelectricity production. And the Liberal National Party has exited from the hydroelectricity project. See, for example, in the desert in Republic of Australia, in one of the Republic of Australia regions, even if there was a 2,000 kilometre pipe and there was solar power to pump the water from the pipe and then run it down an artificial river system. You got human consumption, you got desalination and osmosis from the ocean water, you got human drinking water production, you got electricity production, you got agricultural water production. So you could turn the desert into a multi-million people city. But the thing is, the Liberal National Party, in one of the Definition 6 sections of King Charles III Commonwealth of Australia realm, they've cancelled the hydroelectricity power production plan in Definition 6 section, though you can see what sections it's under on ROA Regions page on LFDRA.com or LFDRA.org or ROA-LFDRA.com. Though the Liberal National Party is a listed terrorist organisation, and they've now blocked hydroelectricity projects. We support, LFDRA supports hydroelectricity production. The Liberal National Party is now blocking hydroelectricity production. So the Liberal National Party is a listed terrorist organisation. And the moment the Liberal National Party get elected in the Definition 6 of Queensland, I start getting harassed by police again. So it's fucking bullshit.
And welcome to LFDRA audio at Harry Stiller LFDRA. And LFDRA audio today at www.youtube.com/at Harry Stiller LFDRA. This is the building. I lived in this building when I, on the 5th to 7th time I went to Okinawa, Japan. This is a 6th floor building with the ground floor option. I lived above the black car, above the sign. When I lived there was no medical clinic and pharmacy and solar power roof car park. I lived in the apartment above the black car next to the medical clinic. Though I worked for the owner of the building. Moving desks to the ground floor option of that building. And since I left, they've put the medical clinic on the ground floor option and a pharmacy and a solar power car park. This is Google Maps. And yeah, so I lived in the apartment above the sign, above the black car. So this would be the Republic of Australia Federation Government complementary residential would be similar design to this building. It wouldn't have the side balconies, though it would have the front balconies. I lived in this building through a Category 5 typhoon in Okinawa, Japan. I lived in that apartment above the black car with the green sign there, above the medical clinic, but the medical clinic wasn't there when I lived there. And the pharmacy wasn't there, and the medical clinic on the ground floor option wasn't there. And the solar power car park wasn't there. Though the complementary residential would be probably the same design as this, though I lived in this building through a Category 5 typhoon. The only thing that happened, I think one of the windows were open, like a few inches down on the Daihatsu mirror that I was driving, and it flipped and hit the neighbour's car. Lucky it was insured. Though through a Category 5 typhoon, the Daihatsu mirror crashed into another car. So the complementary residential would be probably similar design to this without the side balconies. So you can see the ground floor option and how they've used it for a medical clinic, and they've built a pharmacy with a medical clinic, and it's probably still residential. When I worked for the owner, the ground floor option was empty, and I went to his storage shed and moved a whole heap of tables in his truck to this building, and we stacked the tables up. He probably paid me about Niju Sen Yen or Sanju Sen Yen for half a day. So I lived in this building for a Category 5 typhoon. It's probably earthquake proof, it's probably typhoon proof, it's probably tsunami proof. You can see how it's got the ground floor option and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floors. So the side balconies wouldn't be there. We'd need the architectural design construction plans for this building for complementary residential. There'd be 10 million buildings built in the first decade. So the ground floor option could be a community hall, a building community hall. It could be a visiting GP clinic where the GP visits and you can assign a time to see the GP in the clinic. It could have a GP's office. It could have on the ground floor option. It's got a solar power car park now. But yeah, I worked for the owner of this building, though through Category 5 typhoon. The only thing that happened was there was a blackout. There was a blackout because of the typhoon, or they might have switched the power off, I don't know, through the Category 5 typhoon. So the side balconies wouldn't be there. So it would be straight walls for the bedroom and either 5 floors or 6 floors with the ground floor option. That could be a visiting GP clinic, a visiting GP and a nurse, aged care options for elderly residents like a nursing station and a visiting GP for when residents age, go on that need, visiting GP and the ground floor options or the ground floor. To see where that the right side of that black car, but below that sign, below the apartment that I lived in when I was in Okinawa, that's the entrance to the lobby. The ground floor option doesn't have an entrance to the lobby. That's the entrance to the mailbox and lobby and lifts and stairs. Well, that entrance could be sliding doors and mailboxes and entrance to the lift lobby, a second entrance to the lift lobby. So you can see the car park. We'll go down the street and check out the car park, the solar power car park. So I can't read Japanese. I can read some Japanese, but you can see that that's the solar power car park there now, and they've built the pharmacy clinic for the medical clinic downstairs. And that's the solar power car park. That's each apartment got 2 car spaces there. So that's a solar roof car park. That's the pharmacy clinic that was built after I was there, and that's where the medical clinic is now. There, that's the medical clinic, and that's the pharmacy. And I lived in that apartment there, above the black car. So we'll have a look at that building again. We'll probably need as I said, we'll probably need the construction design plans for a 6th floor or just the 5 floors with the ground floor options. So you see that would make 4 apartments per floor. 4 apartments per floor. That's 4, 8, 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 4, 8, 16, 16, 20. That's 20 apartments. 20 apartments. But we'd probably have to make it a little bit longer. to make the apartments a bit larger. Probably have to make it to, we'd probably have to extend it to, say, probably the tree, or where this other car is, a little bit longer than that, or even where the white car is, or where that car is, or the white car. We'd probably have to have it about that long, or maybe there or there. I don't know. Though the side balconies wouldn't be there. We'll go out the front and have a look. But the pharmacy and the solar power car park's been built since I've been there, and the medical clinic downstairs, though I remember when the medical clinic was empty. I can't read that. That's, I don't know if that's, I don't know what that says, but yeah, I helped the owner move the tables downstairs, and he paid us, yeah, about $300 and something or $200 and something for half a day. It was all right. Some employers in Japan will feed you, and some employers won't. But when I was there, the rent was go Goju Senyen for a month. So when I was working at JBS Swift, that would have been equivalent to about $1,700 or $1,800 a month. In the aspect of ratio of wages that I was earning in Okinawa. Now that's the solar power car park. You can see the solar power car park there, how it's got 2 spaces per apartment. And you can see how you got surrounds and all of that. See the walkways out the front, bus stops, and so the rear options would be barbecues and play equipment and gardens. Each apartment would have a garden, and so behind this building is a hill. So see, this building's got a hill. So the rear options, I don't know if we can get a view of the. You can see that, so you can just imagine how there'd be a lawn at the back with gardens, a little bit longer to about the white car or the other car there over here. I don't know how the length that it would be, 5 floors or 6 floors, and there'd be 10 million of the buildings built. So that I've been in that through a Category 5 typhoon, and it was the only thing that happened was I think they've turned the power off. It's probably earthquake proof, tsunami proof, typhoon proof. The only thing is it needs a reliable electricity supply and water and internet and all of that in Republic of Australia for complementary residential. So yeah, this is at Harry Stiller LFDRA, Republic of Australia LFDRA Party LFDRA Audio. Please do like, subscribe, and comment. You can say whatever you want. So yeah, this medical clinic here down on the ground floor option wasn't there when I was there. I said that, though. When I was there, this was the entrance here. You'd go that side of the car, and around the corners the mailboxes and lifts and stairs. So it's got stairs and a lift. So people don't really want to walk up 7 flights of stairs. So what's this one? This was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 flights of stairs and a lift. So I think, yeah, there was just one lift with rear access. So a lift and then a rear access. So the rear access would be the entrance, and over here would be the lawn with the seed raising gardens and play equipment and all of that. So the car park's sort of covered, solar power car park as well. And that's how it'd roll, 2 to 3 or 4 bedrooms each apart. It'd probably be 4
For single people, there'd probably be 2 bedrooms with the spare room study den. You could convert that to a smoking room with an exhaust fan and air conditioning and all of that. Because people really don't want to see you smoking on the balcony if you've got a smoking room, but you might not smoke, so it might be a study den spare room. Because according to it in the People's Republic of China, you can't smoke on the streets. See, people really don't want to see other people smoking. So, do you really want to see people smoking on the balcony, or would you rather a spare room with an exhaust fan and an air conditioner and an ashtray with a lid? If you're a smoker, so it's illegal to smoke in your car with children. Not in Japan. In Japan, it's not. Though in Republic of Australia, it probably would be illegal to smoke in your car with children. So you'd have a study den spare room. So if there was 2 bedrooms for elderly or pensioners, there'd be a 3rd room, which would be a study den, a spare room. So 2 rooms and a spare room. Yeah, so that's that. So we'd probably need the construction plans and the extended architectural engineering design plans, or however it rolls with that. That design and construction without the side balconies. So yeah, I lived in oh, you can't see it. I said that before though. I lived in the apartment above the black car there on the 1st floor above the ground floor. Yeah, so that's about it for that one. This is on at Harry Stiller LFDRA for Republic of Australia LFDRA party, and that's what the complementary residential would look like. Thanks for watching, and please do like, subscribe, and comment. I recorded this at 2:29 a.m. on the 2nd of the 11th, 2024.
This is about one of the other LFDRA audio episodes on at Harry Stiller LFDRA. And one of those episodes I did call Peter Dutton a racist over that defamation lawsuit that Peter Dutton was he was suing someone over a defamation lawsuit over Peter Dutton being called a racist, though after seeing that article on online, I went and searched the definition of the word racist, and in the definition of the word racist, it referred to antagonism in the definition. Someone who has a character trait of antagonism can be classed as racist. Antagonism, another word for antagonism, antagonist, antagonism, according to the definition provided by the Bing search engine on one of the web pages, it said racist was antagonism. And according to the way Peter Dutton behaves, that's antagonism. So that's why I called Peter Dutton a racist, because the definition says a racist person is antagonism, and Peter Dutton has antagonism in his character traits. Though I also said, why did Peter Dutton join the police department and the political department, politician department, political demotion, political department, politician's department, politician demotion, police department? Because the first letter of his first name is P, and the first letter of his last name is D. Peter Dutton, police department, political demotion, political department. That's why he called the police department. That's why he joined the police department. Though, yeah, Peter Dutton is a listed terrorist and a racist, because Peter Dutton, when Peter Dutton was in government, his government funded the extra $1 billion in chemical warfare armament labelled mental health. But how many people have been murdered from abduct and drug laws labelled mental health through the quota system since that $1 billion was spent? So Peter Dutton's political party, the Liberal National Party, the Liberal Party, they have committed genocide. They've funded mental health. There is a death rate. There is a statistical clinical trial death rate from forced abductions and druggings. They expanded it by $1 billion. I don't know how much Anthony Albanese of the Australian Labor Party has funded on chemical warfare armament of mental health, the abduct and drug laws. Though at the moment, there's no day in court for a living person in the country to, according to the laws of Definition 6, at any time, anyone can be arrested and drugged on made-up shit, on shit made up by any living person. And that person, the affected person at the moment, under ALP and LMP, they don't have a day in court to prosecute, to subpoena the government and determine fact or fiction of what's been said about someone who's being arrested to be involuntarily detained or presented to an emergency department. The affected person has got no day in court to prosecute the government because referral information could be false. So according to the, let's go, I'll search it now, okay? Let's see what Bing comes up with on the search engine now. So I'll turn my laptop back on and I'll type in definition. I'm typing in definition of the word racist. Definition of the word racist. It says prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a purpose or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalised. It also says the belief that different races poses distinct characteristic abilities or qualities, especially so as to distinguish them as inferior or superior to one another. Though it does say, full stop, it says prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual. Antagonism by an individual. Peter Dutton is an individual, and he does have the character traits of antagonism as an individual. He does have antagonism. He funded $1 billion in chemical warfare armament. He was a supporter of, he's just malware. Peter Dutton's malware. Peter Dutton is a listed terrorist and he is a listed racist. Peter Dutton's a racist, according to the definition of racism, of racist. It's antagonism.
You see, in 2013, at Mr. Stiller's sister's place, I was talking to my sister about TSMS, Thomas S. Monson, talking to Sister Kim about Monson. I was talking about how Thomas S. Monson had shell companies and the Utah Mormon cult was used by CIA. TSM, as in Thomas S. Monson, first letter of each name, TSM, Thomas S. Monson, took Stiller to Maryborough. Thomas S. Monson, Mr. Stiller, took Stiller Maryborough, treat Stiller's mind, TSM, according to it. My sister made false claims to Definition 6 mental health staff. I was arrested and drugged for over 12 years without a day in court. You really are a listed terrorist regime. you have committed genocide and shoved it under the carpet. Context, STILLERST, ill, ER, Mr. Stiller, Monson. In syllable context, that's MS, Mr. Stiller, Monson. In syllable context, first letters of syllable context are MS, as in Mr. Stiller, malignant syndrome, measured systems, Maryborough services, Mrs. Stiller, Mr. Stiller, measured MAR 250 plus. And according to it, my brother Patrick Stiller, Mr. Stiller, as well, was friends with Thomas S. Monson on Facebook and was talking to Thomas S. Monson on Facebook. Talking Stiller, Mr. Stiller, Thomas S. Monson, treat Stiller's mind, taken straight, Maryborough services, talking Stiller, Mr. Tarkine stroke, malignant syndrome, Thomas S. Monson, as in Peter Dutton, police department, politicians department, political demotion. You see measurement crimes such as Murphy's Creek, mind control, Peter Dutton, parliamentary department. Murphy's Creek. I lived in Murphy's Creek for over 16 years. Murphy's Creek. Mr. Stiller. Mrs. Stiller. Measured crimes. Mind control. A school teacher, Headley dealing, that had a hard dick, a horny dick in the classroom. Murphy's Creek, mind control, measurement crimes, first and last, first and last with ST. You see Jeremy Hickey, Harry John, Samuel Hickey, Health Services. But you see how it rolled? These are the events that took place. I can't remember the psychiatrist's names at Maryborough, but before I had even seen a psychiatrist, I didn't have any day in court to prosecute the government about referral information that my sister made up, though I was talking about Thomas S. Monson. That's TSMS. TSMS. I was talking about Thomas S. Monson. And in syllable context, Monson, MS. TSMS. Thomas S. Monson was a Vietnam veteran. So he worked for the CIA and was head of the Mormon Utah cult in Utah City and had worldwide followers of about 18 million people that were forced to pay 10% of their income. You see, measurement crimes do exist. You see, Jeremy Hickey, there was an ABC broadcast, Jeremy Hickey, Harry John, and Samuel Hickey. So that was one of the psychiatrists, Samuel Hickey. Health Services Health. Then it was psychiatrist Sharma. Stiller Harry, Services Health Services. And I met Simon Hastings. Simon, Health Services Health. Stiller Harry. Stiller Harry, Services Health. Jeremy Hickey, Samuel Hickey, Jar Rao, Nagai Stiller, NS, Services, Nano Services, New Start, National Security, Neurosurgeon. That's a bit off the spectrum when it comes to NS, Nagai Stiller. Nagai in Japanese means long. Spy long time or long or something. In Japanese. I think it just means long. Nagai Stiller, Neurology, Autonomy, Government, Autonomy, In-Store, urology autonomy, government autonomy, injectables. But your belief system will be, why does the president of China say he's not happy about Tibet Autonomous Region? He'll publicly say, it's on YouTube. You can go and view the transcripts if the translation's been corrected to English, if they're interpreted translations on his New Year addresses from 2017 to 2024. I can't remember what year it was, though the president of China would speak about how he's not happy with Tibet Autonomous Region, and he'll publicly speak about Tibet Autonomous Region, that he's not happy about it. So why would the president of China say that? He'd obviously be aware of it, and I know that it would be exploited. Autonomous regions, simulated autonomy, profit measured placement. So if you're trying to crack acceleration, in linear acceleration, to have the future, to have what happens in the future in the past, if you're trying to crack acceleration, it's already been exploited by quantum. What's the laser colors that quantum computers are using? And what does an MRI do? So the colors of lasers in quantum computers, how they're using laser beams in quantum computers. What are those? What VPN do you think in entanglement those laser computers are having to the aspect of CD, rainbow, and what happens to someone's brain after having an MRI measured to a hard drive? They put the brain in all different colours, similar to a CD, and the laser, and a rainbow. And we've seen the Texas Uni publicly announce about semantic decoding. You see Michael Peck, measured placement, measured placement, placement measurement. Stilla Harry, Services Health, SH, HS, ST, Sensory Technology. Why would it be that I'm in the same street as Johnson Controls, a multi-billion-dollar sensory technology business in Kansas City, that I sent you a video of, that I was filming the right side of the street? I was living near the sensory technology business of Johnson Controls. That's over $10 billion a year. Why would it be that I'm in the same street of it in Cairns at ST Travel, filming a sensory tech ST Travel? There's another one. While I was at ST Travel, the context of Stilla ST, Sensory Technologies, and I'm filming a $10 billion business, sensory technology business apparatus audit of investigation in Kansas City, and I'm filming their factory building, or their warehouse distribution business of sensory technology, building sensory technology business that would have expanded to keep their measured simulation profits rolling in. You see, measurement crimes do exist. Mental health services, Mr. Harry Stiller, MHS, Maryborough Health Service, MHS, measured Samuel Hickey, measured Hickey Samuel, Mr. Samuel Hickey, Mr. Stiller Harry, SH, Services Health. You see, all I said to the psychiatrist in Toowoomba, I was kicking my nephew out. This is within the 12 years of being abducted and drugged over stuff made up by my sister Kim. I was kicking my nephew out of the commercial industrial workshop I was leasing in Toowoomba. I was doing recording sessions, and he was recording me, what I was saying, but I was recording a recording session. But after that, I told him to get the fuck out. I told him, get out. I was kicking him out because he played his Xbox all day, and I had enough of it. And he got offended, and he went to the police, made up all this bullshit. He was recording me doing a recording session for my website at that time. I didn't have a website, but I was doing a recording session, and he made up all this bullshit and went to definition 6 and made all this bullshit up, but I was actually kicking him out, and he went and it's a form of domestic violence. You see, my brother Patrick went missing again. This is ages ago, but see, the context name in measured autonomy, about 4 p.m. yesterday, I don't have his phone number though, according to it, the context name ST of STLER, context name ST, sim triangulation ST, last time he went missing, according to it, he was meant to return his van that mum and dad bought, and he quit his Coles job and took off to Brisbane, sleeping in mum and dad's van, delivering Uber. And I wrote to you and said, can you triangulate his phone as to the context ST, still a triangulation? You see, Taiwan told me in Cairns that this is all about the context name in the apparatus. We do live in measured autonomy. The president of China will publicly speak about how he's not happy with Tibet Autonomous Region. Why would he say that if it didn't exist? And we know businesses and the government exploits this because you want to research your linear acceleration. You want the future before the past. You want the past and the future. You want the future in the past. But it's so I'm not going over that again. Though, you see, measurement theft crimes exist as well. And so do measurement crimes exist as well. For example, after talking about TSM, Thomas S. Monson, I was abducted and drugged, labelled ill, context name, ST, ill, ER, a name ordered by MI5 in England at my dad's birth, to be measured to a hard drive, so that at a moment I'm labelled ill and my brain is measured to a hard drive, taken straight Maryborough, treat still as mind, MS, Monson, metabolic syndrome, Mr. Stiller, you terrorist regime cunts. I don't give a shit. All I know is I'm probably claiming compensation against you, the Fed, that's paid the Medicare extortion ransoms. You've changed the law on superannuation. You pay ransoms. You lie. You say you don't pay ransoms, though the terrorist organisation of you, the Fed, you pay fucking ransoms. You pay the Medicare extortion. And how many people have you murdered over the past 10 fucking years, you terrorist regime cunts?